Well, hello guys. So today we will talk about a very underrated show, The Dragon Prince. It's my second favorite series right after Mistborn. I will do both a spoiler and a non-spoiler review. So let's start with the non-spoiler section first. The Dragon Prince is a fantasy show about the conflicts between human and other species like elves and dragons. The Dragon Prince has great themes such as horror of the war, revenge, paranoia, obsession, redemption, parental love, and more. But the main theme of the show is breaking the cycle. The show has dark themes but a lighter narrative. The Dragon Prince also has a great cast, and Rayla and Callum are two of my favorite characters ever. The characters in the show are repeatedly put into moral dilemmas and situations where they have to choose between personal gain and the greater good. I can't discuss much about the characters here in the non-spoiler part, but I will discuss more about them in the spoiler section. For now, The Dragon Prince has one of the best casts ever, so if you haven't watched the show, go and watch it. It's much better than the Avatar The Last Airbender. Now let's move on to the spoiler section. As you know, themes and characters are most important aspects for me in the series, so let's start with that. As I mentioned, the main theme of the show is breaking the cycle. The heroes of the series are the one who break the cycle, while the villains are those who were unable to break it and repeated history. We will be talking about the heroes first, as Rayla and Callum are my favorite. So let's start with Callum. Callum was the stepson of the king, and with that, he knew that he would never become king and would always be a side character to his brother. To add to that, he wasn't even good at sword fighting. This was the reason that Callum felt very useless and unimportant. Then their castle was attacked, and during that attack he learned about the wrongdoings of his species, humans. This was the first time Callum chose to do greater good instead of letting his personal emotions get in the way, which shows how heroic his character is. He forgave that one elf assassin, Rayla, and went on a journey with her to return the egg in order to achieve greater peace. Callum on his journey discovered that he could do magic with Primal Stone. He finally had something that could make him useful and help others. But at the end of season 1, he was stuck in a moral dilemma again, where he had to break the Primal Stone for the greater good. As heroic as he was, he chose the greater good once more. He broke the Primal Stone and saved the day. But in the end, he was left with nothing. However, Callum couldn't give up now. He had that fire and hope inside him that he wouldn't let die. He tried again and again to find magic without any help. He sought to understand the system of the world. He realized that the whole earth was a primal stone, so he could just extract magic from nature to perform basic magic. It was something like that, I don't remember all the details. Now you could ask how no human before was able to find it, but we could say that it was a discovery. And Callum found it first, as this planet is not as old as ours. He can be viewed as the Newton or Tesla of this world. Now he could do some basic magic, but that still helped his friends on their journey. Then he came to know about the death of his stepfather, which was caused by those elf assassins. But instead of giving into his emotions, he still chose to do the right thing for the greater peace, as he knew that his stepfather had made some mistakes. Then he and Rayla achieved their goal, and in the end Callum saved Rayla. Callum and Rayla also had great chemistry and a good love build-up. He didn't leave her because of her past crush Claudia, who was against elves. We will also talk about Claudia and her path towards darkness. Even in the second part of the series, we could see Callum making mature choices and understanding Rayla and the situation. He even went against his brother when he was wrong. But we could see him choosing Rayla over the world over and over again. He used dark magic to save her or gave vital information to the enemy to save her. And Rayla did the same. They made a pact that they would choose the world over each other next time. In the end, there was a situation where Rayla had to kill Callum in order to save the world. But someone else made that sacrifice. Season 7 of The Dragon Prince was disappointing, as they shouldn't have teased that ending, where one of them would have to sacrifice the other if they wanted to maintain that lighter narrative. But still, Callum is a great character who is about breaking the cycle, self-esteem, and a character who again and again faced moral dilemmas where he had to choose between doing the right thing or what he wanted to do. Now let's come to Rayla. Rayla had a burden or insecurity to prove herself as a brave warrior because it was believed that her parents ran away from their responsibilities and betrayed their race of elves. Though it was later revealed that this was not the case, but at the start of the series nobody knew. So she wanted to achieve something for her race to prove herself. But again, she was unable to kill people who seemed innocent to her. Elves and humans had a conflict, and thus to serve your race, you had to do anything, even immoral things, because otherwise it would cost your mission. But as we know, Rayla was unable to do the wrong things, and for that, she was viewed as a coward just like her parents. However, as an audience, we could see that it was not because she was a coward, but because she was a good person. She decided to do the right thing instead of giving into her insecurities. She teamed up with Callan and Ezran and went on a journey with them to return the dragon's egg for eternal peace. Here she would again be hated by her race for betraying the assassin team, yet she chose to do the right thing by not killing Ezran and going on a journey with him for eternal peace. And thus she broke the cycle. Now at the end of the season 3, she came to know the truth about her parents. They didn't run away but were sealed somewhere by Viren. This enraged Rayla to another level, and she wanted to take revenge on Viren. However, she became so obsessed with that revenge and her personal feelings that she left everything behind to pursue it. It destroyed her life and made her unhappy, but she still went for it. After 2 years, she realized her mistake and grew out of it. Next, we saw that she was repeatedly put into moral dilemmas, where she had to choose between bringing back her parents or saving the world. However, she developed and chose to do good for the world every time. As I mentioned in the Callum's part, she faced a situation at the end where she had to kill Callum to save the world, but some other characters died. And the show maintained its lighter tone and didn't take any risks. But still, Rayla is a great character who is about breaking the cycle, morality, revenge burden to prove herself, and a character who again and again faced moral dilemmas where she had to choose between doing the right thing or doing what she wanted to do. Now let's come to Ezran. Just like Rayla and Callum, the main theme of Ezran's character was breaking the cycle. Ezran was very young at the start of the series and wanted to enjoy his life without having any responsibilities. However, Ezran's father was killed when he was very young, and from that age he had the responsibility of the kingdom and solving the conflict. When the elf assassins attacked his palace, Ezran forgave them and went on a journey for eternal peace. Later he learned about the death of his father, but instead of taking revenge, he chose to break the cycle and pursue peace. He wasn't able to live his childhood and was burdened with responsibilities from a very young age. But now instead of running from it, he accepted it and took on the throne. Not only did he take the throne, but he also broke the cycle and the ongoing norm of war. He even went to jail and put his life at risk for it. His character is so much better than Aang's, as he faced his problems and accepted his responsibilities, unlike Aang, who won in the end without doing anything and defeated the main villain in an unconscious state. At the end of the final war in season 3, he started a new era where all species live together. But it's not just that simple, as you can't just gain peace like that. Leaders did start a new era, but many of their civilians still hated the other species, and the conflict began again. Many believed that they all should live together, while others believed that the other species should be killed or that different species should live on different lands. We saw conflicts arising in both lands, friends and families becoming enemies, with Ezran and the leaders who agreed with him trying to maintain peace. Now let's come to Soren. Soren didn't get any attention from his father during his childhood. Well, I don't understand why kids who didn't receive any attention from their parents choose to seek validation from them instead of seeking revenge. But anyway, Soren tried to gain validation from his father. One day Viren gave him an immoral mission, a mission that made Soren question his choices. Viren told Soren to kill Karam and Ezran. Soren found himself in a moral dilemma where he had to choose between siding with his family and killing his friends, or siding with the right side and sparing his friends. At first we saw that Soren sided with his family and was on the villain's side. But later on he built up the courage to go against his father and sister, doing the right thing by saving Callum and Ezran for the greater good. Now let's talk about his sister, Claudia. Claudia was Soren's sister who chose another path. At a very young age, Claudia lost her mother because her mother left her family. That's why she wanted to keep her remaining family close. She blindly followed her father, even when Soren left and went against his family. Because of that blind love, she didn't see her dad's flaws and became more and more distrustful of elves and dragons. Later in the show, Erebos also motivated her to go down this path. At first, she was doing things mainly because of her father, but by the end, she completely turned to the dark side on her own. Now she wasn't guided by her father but by her dark side. If a part 3 were to come, we could see more of her. Now let's come to Viren. Most of the events in The Dragon Prince happened because of Viren. Now Viren is like the Danzo of this series. His goal is good, but his ways of achieving it are so evil that he can only be labeled as a villain. He would do anything to save the human species, even if it meant killing half of the human population. He believed that he was the only one strong enough to make sacrifices for the greater good. Viren knew that other species had leverage over humans, so in order to save humanity, he committed many unforgivable crimes. He became obsessed with the dark magic. At first, it was for his own family, after that, it was for the human species, and he just kept going down that path. But in the second part, when he came back to life, he saw his daughter becoming just like him because of his guidance, and he didn't want that. I didn't expect a redemption arc from Viren, but they went for it. Viren stopped being paranoid about everything and wanted his daughter to be free, and in the end, he sacrificed his life for other people. Now let's come to Erebos. Now, Erebos is the Star Touch elf who had been manipulating every villain in the show from the start in order to break free from his cell. He was captured by dragons and elves to keep the world safe. Erebos wants to take revenge for his daughter, who was punished because she broke the world order according to the god or whosoever they were. By the end of the show, he was defeated. But we don't know if he will come back, as Erebos is a sympathetic villain. And we need closure to his story since his daughter received a pretty harsh punishment and deserved a second chance. There are many more great characters in the series, but these were the main ones. Now let's come to the story. As I have already said, the Dragon Prince story handles dark themes like war, revenge, prejudice, redemption, parental love, abuse, obsession, freedom, paranoia, etc. with a lighter narrative. The story of the part 1 is much better than the second part, as the conclusion of the second part was very underwhelming. But let's see what happens in the next part, if it will ever come. I also liked how conflicts between races didn't get solved by just one war. Part 2 explored how there are new tensions now and it broke families and friends apart. So that's it for today. Tell me your thoughts on the show and your favorite character from the show in the comments.